Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Hope everybody is doing good. Sugar stocks in the last few days have showed good momentum with volume and price action. They were underperforming for the last 6 to 8 months. So what has changed and why? Let's analyze and find out. Let's first understand how regulated the sugar industry is. Now, contrary to the belief, the sugar manufacturing companies do not have much control in relation to procurement, production, and the distribution of the sugar. It's very highly regulated by the government. The companies do not have a say as to how much of raw material is to be procured, at what rate it is to be procured, and from whom to procure. They do not have a say as to how much of sugar needs to be produced. They do not have a say as to how much can be distributed or sold, and they do not have a say at what price it is supposed to be sold. That's how tough the sugar industry is regulated. Now, before we start analyzing the recent momentum trend seen in the last few days, we need to go back in time about 6 to 8 months back and understand why the sugar stocks were underperforming for some time now. As a whole, the sugar stocks are cyclical in nature, which means there will be times when price is increased and there will be times when the price is decreased. The sugar stocks are also dependent on monsoon. They are dependent on the fair remunerative price, and there is something called as minimum supportive price. Then there is something called as an exports quota, and then finally your ethanol blending. So last year the monsoon was less than adequate, which resulted in decreased production of sugar, but the demand remained the same. So there was increased requirement in domestic market, which resulted in decrease in the export quotas. Elections were also due, so obviously government wouldn't want to increase the sugar prices for the end consumer, that is the public, during the election time. At the same time, since 2018, the fair remunerative price kept increasing to 41 rupees per kilo, but the minimum supportive price remained at 31 rupees per kilo till now. And that's why the sugar industry as a whole was underperforming. So what has changed now? First thing is, Indian Meteorological Department expects a pretty good monsoon this year, which indirectly would result in increase in the production, which would be sufficient for the domestic requirements. Therefore, the government can now increase the export quotas, resulting in increased revenues and profits for the sugar companies. Elections are also over, so policy continuation or tweaking could be done. The sugar manufacturing companies have requested the government regulatory body to increase the minimum supportive price to 41 rupees per kilo to be on par with the fair remunerative price. And also, Petroleum Minister recently agreed for a reasonable hike, which to the best of my knowledge is like, we understand your problem and let's see if we can agree on a reasonable hike. So I think they might agree for probably around 35 to 36 rupees per kilo, and then in a phased manner might slowly increase it to 40 to 41 rupees per kilo in future. And also because government targets 25% of ethanol blending in the next few years. And that's why the sugar sector stocks have turned sweeter in the last few days and maybe would remain the same for the next couple of months. So make a watch list of the sugar stocks and select and then invest wisely. Thank you, and we'll come back with the next video.